Welcome, elite entrepreneurs and empire builders. I'm Jared, CEO, founder of FranOps. As you probably know, if you're brand new to the group, welcome. I'm so excited for today's interview, for this call. We've been holding these live streams now for the last few months, and man, I've seen so much success from just like referring clients to some of these companies and brands that are helping them find success to franchise their futures. I am so pumped about this one today specifically. Today's interview is with the brand that was the first brand that I ever placed a client with. And so they are near and dear to my heart. I truly believe in who they are and what they do. And not just because I've seen that firsthand, but like it all started with, I started working with them because of the proof that was found in the pudding. Like you can literally go online and find out you can do all the research in the world. And I expect you will if this is a brand you're interested in. And I promise you won't be disappointed in what you find out about them. This is a highly stable blue chip company. They are literally the #1 rated flooring company in North America. Okay, that's their NPS score is the highest in the entire $100 billion flooring industry. It's insane. They average 4.8 5-star reviews out of 5 stars, right? 4.8 out of 5-star reviews, which is insane when you realize that's including over 20,000 reviews that they have online. That's crazy. And so it just kind of proves like how successful they have been, kind of shows you that this is a legitimate brand for you to consider investing yourself, your time, your money, your future into, because they do prove success. They find success. So, and I think what one of the biggest things you'll learn is what sets them apart is just the uniqueness of how they service clients. And so they do something kind of different with this mobile showroom. I might be saying too much. I'm going to save that. We're going to get to that in just a second. I don't want to spoil too much, but you maybe have seen Floor Coverings International. If you haven't seen them in your area, that's a good sign. That means that territory might still somehow be available for you, which is crazy considering how mature and developed they are as a brand. But if they are available, this literally, you can do this. You need to hop on this because of how quickly and how they continue to grow, how successfully they continue to expand. If you haven't seen them in your area, you've probably seen them on HGTV. They've been on a few times past couple years. Entrepreneur 500, which is like a highly reputable source to identify some of the most successful brands in franchising, has them listed at 125 this past year, 125th on a list of the top 500 franchises. Out of 4,000 plus worldwide, they are 125, which is one of the highest in home service brands. I mean, it's just insanity. And we get the honor today of interviewing Albert Hermans. I'm so excited to bring you this brand, Floor Coverings International. This is what you're here for, so let's dive in.
Their mobile showroom is amazing. Every kind of flooring option and color you could want.
Our rep at Floor Coverings International found cost-effective solutions for us and gave me the confidence I was getting a great product, high quality, and assurance the job was done right.
I found her communication at all stages was fantastic, and she tried incredibly hard to find exactly what I was looking for.
I needed to go with a firm that I could trust and know that I would be satisfied. I was in the past. I once again received the same excellent service from quote to completion and everything in between.
The team showed up on time, paid great attention to detail, performed a high-quality job, and left the worksite tidy.
What do our customers have to say? One thing. Floor Coverings International is rave-worthy. We are market leaders, earning 4.8 stars while delivering on our brand promise. We engage with our peers and are committed to the profitable growth of our groups. Leaders lead in challenging times, pushing forward, investing in marketing and staffing to take market share from the competition and accelerate us toward our vision. How will you lead, grow, invest, build, engage, and become the leader who earns their stars?
Yes, Albert Hermans, man, welcome to the Franchise Opportunities for Elite Entrepreneurs Facebook group, man. Welcome. It's good to see you.
Appreciate you, Jerry. Listen, I'm fired up. The intro, then that little commercial, man. But I got like I'm jumping out of my skin right now. This is awesome.
Good, man. Well, genuinely, like, I firmly believe in Floor Coverings International. I want to make sure that, like, hey, I'm doing you guys justice, trying to live up to the bar that you guys have set. So it's exciting stuff. And even for you viewers as well, hold on to the end. Like, we're going to deep dive into this opportunity for you, but hold on to the very end, because I'm going to show you even, I'll put another video in front of you that's going to show you just like a plethora of other franchisee owners and kind of hear a little bit of their story. And you can get a good visualization of a little bit more of what it might actually look like to be a business owner. But Albert, let's dive in, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about Floor Coverings in general. Share with us a little bit.
Sure. Well, I've been at Floor Coverings International for the last 9 years, part of the executive group. I lead our franchise development team, which I personally believe is one of the best in the entire franchising industry. And I get the distinct honor of just being at the tip of the spear to watch our organization grow. And I've been growing organizations in small business my whole life. It's really the only thing that I know. Started my first small business when I was in college. I sold that a couple years after I had graduated. And the thing that I learned that was awesome at 22 years old was this thing called equity. I didn't know what equity was at the time, but
Yeah,
it was like,
right.
wow, I did something, I started something, and then I got a check for it. So then I went and did that again. And my next business was how I got started into franchising. And I started a single location group-led fitness business, small box classes. And we were helping people change their lives and their body and their health. And our members would always tell us, you should franchise this. You should franchise this.
Yeah.
Then we did. So we took it to about 65 locations. And this is
Oh, wow.
about 9 years ago. I was at the juncture before I joined Floor Coverings International. I'm explaining to you my story to get to this stage because I want to tell you about what got me to Floor Coverings International.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you a little about the brand. I'll tell you it wasn't the flooring industry. Now, I'm sure we'll talk about it in this conversation. It comes to be actually that this is a great industry to be in. But
Yeah.
for me, it wasn't anything about flooring. At the time, 9 years ago, I hadn't owned my first home yet. I had no relative understanding of
Right.
home remodeling. For me, it was about two things. It was about me joining an organization where I can learn from some people that had some chops, some gray hair, been there, done that before.
Right.
Second thing that I was looking for was a tremendous growth opportunity for me. And it just so happened that it was Floor Coverings International. So as it relates to those two things, Floor Coverings International is owned by a publicly traded company. The company's called First Service. Stock symbol is FSV, and they own other home services brands. They're kind of on the Mount Rushmore of home services franchising. Brands like CertaPro Painters. People would know CertaPro Painters. People would know
Oh, yeah.
California Closets. Paul Davis Restoration. These are billion-dollar organizations. And as a matter of fact, if any of the listeners has heard of CertaPro, they're very well known by the consumer.
Right.
Tom Wood, who is our CEO, was a co-founder over at CertaPro Painters. So at the time I was, 9 years ago, 27, 28 years old, I was like, okay, wow, the chops are there. These guys know how to grow a big, reputable, well-known franchise organization.
Right.
And then the growth trajectory, Floor Coverings International is the youngest brand of the bunch in the biggest industry. So for me, I jumped in. Again, it's been 9 years. When I joined 9 years ago, we had 80 or 90 locations. Today, we've got 250 open locations with another 40 or 50 or so in development about to open. So we've got a solid 300 franchisees. It's been a wild ride last 9 years watching this organization take off.
Yeah, truly. And you've been in 9 years with them. I mean, you've gotten to see quite a bit of development. Well, obviously, and you're responsible for that as the VP of franchise development. So, I mean, pretty incredible, I think, to see that. So share with us a little bit then about, like, what are some of the metrics or measurements that you guys use then to kind of identify, like, success, or have identified that, like, has shown that, FCI has been successful in providing service for your customers, for others.
Awesome. Well, there's three metrics that to me tie right into our vision as an organization. So ultimately, success for us is achieving our vision. So I'll tell you what our vision is, and then those metrics will be easy to fall out from there. So we have a two-part vision statement. Number one is we want to be the very best customer service experience inside of the flooring industry. Anywhere you can get flooring done, we want to be the number one. The second part of our vision statement is to have over 250 franchise owners that have a floor for performance at $2 million plus in sales. So the measures for success for us would be, number one, our net promoter score, which measures our customer satisfaction at the unit level. And you mentioned this at the start, we're incredibly proud to plaster wherever we can the fact that we are the number one rated flooring company in North America.
Yeah, that's
Our
a
net
big deal.
promoter score, huge, right? Because the industry is $100 billion.
Yep.
And generally, when people have to have a contractor come over to rip apart their house to install new floors or whatever, countertops, I mean, you name it, generally it's not such a pleasant experience. That's not got a great connotation to it. So for us to be number one is a tremendously huge deal. For the listeners that are familiar with Net Promoter Score, our trailing 12-month Net Promoter Score is an 84. That number puts us in the same category as Ritz-Carlton, for example.
Oh, seriously? Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. And our top three national competitors in the flooring industry, Home Depot, Lowe's, and Empire, are 48, 49, 48 respectively. So again,
you're like
head
doubling
and
that? That's crazy.
Yeah. Head and shoulders. So we're doing a tremendously good job there. That's where we built all of our systems, processes, technology, training around how to service the customer at a really high level. Also, quite honestly, it's an important part of our development process to bring in individuals into our organization that are aligned with setting the proper expectations for consumers and delivering on promises. So that's something that we measure. I get it in my inbox every morning, but if I'm being brutally honest with you and our listeners, we are so head and shoulders above the industry. Outside of our training and our expectation setting and our technology, there's not much that we've got to really work at. Our franchise owners carry that torch. So that's number one, the first measurement. The second measurement would be the number of franchise owners we have, because our vision has a certain number. And like I mentioned, we've got 250 operating with another 40 or so that are in development. So check. And then the last one would be watching our unit economics and our year-over-year growth for our same stores grow up and over that $2 million mark. So those are the three metrics for us that if I had to say what we really watch, those are the three that are most important.
Well, yeah, that's so good. And you mentioned owners as well. And that's a key aspect, obviously, of any franchise system. But you guys take that with a whole lot of intentionality and thoroughness, understanding that the franchise is only as good as the franchisees, really. And so you're very particular then about bringing people into the system. It's not just anybody that's got money. Right now, that's going to be a key aspect of it. But it's not just, hey, you got a bunch of money, you can buy this. No. That's not how it is. To have a healthy system, it's going to require you to be intentional about it as a franchisor. So tell us then, what kind of owners does Floor Coverings International look for?
So I'll tell you that answer. I'll give you the straight answer. But I want to start with why. So the why, that second part of the vision statement, we want people to build $2+ million businesses. That number wasn't a number that we just, one day,
it seems arbitrary
at the wall. Right. Yeah. It was like, okay, 2 million sounds good. That wasn't the reason. And so if you understand why 2 million is the number, to understand the operator we're looking for is really simple. So $2 million is the number, again, minimally we want our franchise owners to shoot for, because number one, at $2 million, the franchise operator is making really good net income to support. If you were used to a corporate salary or a corporate comp package, it'll replace that and then some. Number two, at $2 million in revenues in our model, there's a team of individuals that the franchise owner leads in the business, which provides the franchise owner flexibility to go on 3-week vacations and the business still generates revenues, or maybe choose not to come in Thursday afternoons because that's when T-ball practice is, or whatever it is, but there's staff running the business, right? And when a business has income, staff, and flexibility, the operator is realizing that a business is about an equity play. We talked about that a minute ago. So it's that business has a ton of equity that whenever the time is right, when they want to sell their business, they can get a tremendous return for their investment. So the operator that we're looking for is someone who identifies with, okay, I want to build a business that has equity. So going backwards on those things, equity, which will give me lifestyle, which will give me the opportunity to lead people. So that's really the thing, is somebody who thinks bigger, that can build out teams, that sees the kind of the longer term play on their equity. That's the type of individual that makes a great fit for us. All types of backgrounds.
So people
that's
who
the
are
common denominator.
So leadership, if you have those skills of leadership, you have that kind of mindset. If I want to raise people up and put them in the right seats on the bus, you may be a great fit for this. And also, and if it's clear, I know you're saying this already, Albert, like looking for those that are coming in with an exit strategy from the beginning. I work with a lot of clients who will, and if you work with me too, our listeners too, if you want to contact me and talk about, hey, let's find a good franchise for me. One of the questions I'm going to ask you is, do you have an exit strategy? And a lot of times they don't. They're like, I don't know. I just am looking for the next chapter of my life. It's like, okay, well, let's start with the end in mind where we're working toward, and we'll talk through that together. But that's a key part of what the kind of the owners that the FCI is looking for. What does that process then look like? Or let's say someone's watching this and they're like, that's me. I want to do this. This sounds great. I love the how low a risk it seems. So then high success potential. So then what does the process look like to become a franchisee through your system?
So it's a mutual evaluation process first and foremost.
Yeah.
So I hate when personally, I wouldn't call a franchise process a sales process, because it's not.
Right.
We like you said before, we've got to make sure people are coming in that are good fits. So it starts with our first conversation has nothing to do with the brand or the business or the day in the life, and everything to do with expectations and skill sets and what makes the individual tick. It's a discovery conversation, talking about your personality and your leadership style, because again, we want to start there. Then we'll go through, okay, what is the business model? What are all the things that you need to know as it relates to what makes this business successful, the investment, marketing. Then we'll talk with the prospective candidate about what's in the FDD. We'll walk them through that document. That could be an intimidating document for somebody to see, right? The black and white couple hundred pages of what is this franchise brand. So we'll educate them on what they need to know inside of it.
Yes, and I with that too, pause on that too, with the FDD, the franchise disclosure document, that's something that I will help prepare you for as well. I help all my clients get into that stage, because it can be, like you said, pretty daunting, very overwhelming, because you're all of a sudden you're getting all this really nice combo at the front, and then all of a sudden you're met with this legal jargon out of nowhere. It's like, oh, okay, let's breathe, let's understand what we're looking at. Anyway, that's a key part of the whole process for sure. Keep going on.
Exactly. Yeah. And every franchise brand, from, the hot dog stand that's going to open up its first franchise, its second location, all the way to McDonald's has an FDD, right? So it's commonplace for us in franchising, but for the average bear who's never investigated before, that's why they need somebody to walk them through it. Right. So after we go through that, we get them into a process of due diligence where we have them do a personality assessment, so we could talk about their strengths. Again, it's a selection process. Then we're going to have them speak to other franchise owners, and they can talk to as many franchise owners wherever they'd like, because we want them to hear straight from the horse's mouth what the good, bad, and ugly is as it relates to operating this business. Because every small business has good, bad, ugly. Every career role and job has a good, bad, and ugly. So why not hear it right from the operators themselves? In the same due diligence period where they're talking to franchise owners, we're going to interview them. We have somebody on our operations team that leads franchise owners for a living, that interviews their fit. We'll have them attend what we call Discovery Day, which is an opportunity for them to meet our team, kind of like an open house. And then at that juncture, coming out of that period, once all those boxes are checked, we collectively, myself and the candidate, are in a place where we're ready to go, the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Well, all the boxes would have been checked at that point.
Yeah, so good. Tell us, if you can, then, what does the investment look like for a franchisee that fits that system, that they're intrigued? Tell us, what can they expect? What might a franchise fee look like? Is there a minimum to maximum investment threshold that they can kind of expect?
Yeah, so our single unit franchise fee is $50,000. And with that said, in fairness, most people that come in for markets that allow do come in with 2 territories, because again, we want folks to build multi-million-dollar businesses. Generally, that single territory are in areas where the market demographics don't necessarily support 2. But certainly you can ramp, but maybe not as quick of a pace. So the average bear comes in with 2 territories. So that investment is generally in the $225,000 to $300,000 range, in that range, depending on how much working cash you want to come in with, how quickly you plan on hiring and staffing the business. And those are things that we talk to the prospective candidate about.
Yeah, right. Well, when the target is 2 million, when the expectation is 2 million, that's nothing. Holy smokes. Yeah, good. So you mentioned support. Could you dive into that a little bit? What is support on your end as a franchisor look like for your current franchisees? Because that's a key part of getting into any brand is like, am I on my own out here, or like, how do they help me? So.
Well, I'll say that first of all, nobody, at least 95% of our franchise owners, did not say I wanted to become a flooring business owner, and I know everything about the flooring industry.
Yeah,
95% of them had no idea. So we've got to be pretty darn good at our training processes. So it starts with a very well-defined 90-day pre-opening period where we've got them in Atlanta twice during that 90-day period, where our corporate office is, a structured curriculum throughout to get their business ready to open and have them prepared. Then from there, one of the cool things that we do is 90 days in the business. Once they're 90 days in business, we have them come back to Atlanta, because after you have that field experience, you actually, the learning actually takes better hold at that point. So we bring them back for training again after 90 days. And then from there, they have their business coach that they meet with regularly. They have their peer groups that they meet with regularly. And I think that second piece that I mentioned there, the peer groups, if we're speaking right now to a bunch of prospective franchise owners, people that may want to join a franchise organization, that's the most underrated aspect of evaluating a franchise brand is what are the other franchisees, my neighbors or my peers across the country like? Do I like them? Do I feel like we can collaborate together to support each other? And quite honestly, that's where we shine the brightest. I couldn't be more proud of the community of franchise owners that we have, and what they do to lean in to support each other. It's amazing.
That's incredibly unique. The fact that a lot of brands unfortunately just can't do that. They don't have enough franchisees, even locally or surrounding one another, to really put them into groups in a way that they can lean on one another, learn from them. Man, that's incredible. And then to bring them back out again 90 days later, I literally haven't heard. I don't think I've heard that before. I haven't heard another brand doing that. I love that idea. Man, yeah, you guys go above and beyond to provide support.
Yeah, my daughter is 4 years old. When she goes to either my in-laws' house or my parents' house, she comes back to our house and she's like, I tried eggs for the first time, or I tried this vegetable. And we're looking at her, we're like, we try to get this kid to eat eggs for months, but because mom and dad didn't say it, because somebody else said it, all of a sudden now she's good at eating eggs. Franchise owners are just like 4-year-olds. Franchise owners, there's a certain period of time where they want to learn from the franchisor, right? And they're good students. And then they'd rather not hear from mom and dad. They could hear the very same thing, but if it's from a peer, if a peer looks at them and says, hey, you got to do this to make your business better, all of a sudden, they get it. The light bulbs go off, right?
That's so good. That's so good. They're just like 4-year-olds, man.
We all are, really.
Nice. Yeah, we all are at some point, aren't we, man? So, but no, you've had some really successful 4-year-olds in your system. So I would love to hear, you have a ton of them. So I'm sure you could just cherry pick any number of them, but I'd love to hear, if you could, share with us a story that has kind of highlights the success of what franchise ownership looks like through Floor Coverings. Do you have any really big ones that you guys are proud of that you want to share with us?
Well, I'd say first of all of them. Again, that the community that they've all created is absolutely second to none. It's amazing. I mean, for me, I'm here because of the people. When I say the people, I mean the franchise community, franchisees themselves. The one that comes to mind is just somebody that I'd consider to be a personal friend. He's been in business. His name's Javier. Been in business in San Antonio for, my goodness, at this point, it's probably 7 or 8 years. And when he was first launched into business, I was his business coach, and somehow he's still in business 9 years later. But anyway, I was his business coach, and he came to Floor Coverings International via a relationship with a consultant, but who's from Venezuela. So he literally had a plane land, had his, I think, maybe 3 or 4 month old daughter. She was in the months. Off the plane with all of his personal belongings, landed in San Antonio to launch the business. Now, fast forward to today, the man is, running a multi-million dollar business. But the thing that gives me the goosebumps, and this is why it's my favorite story, is I remember he was, I want to say, a year or 2 in business, and we're sitting at a restaurant in San Antonio together talking about his business performance. We had all of his numbers out on the table, and he did this double take at me, and he's like, Albert, I just had this weird experience. And like, we're sitting here together. What's the weird experience? He's like, this is the first time that I can remember in the longest time that I actually feel comfortable at a restaurant. And like, I had to like, I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, in Venezuela, when you're sitting in a restaurant, you've got to be worried about if somebody's going to come in and steal something from you or try to threaten your life. And he's like, and here I am relaxed at a restaurant talking to you. And that's the type of thing to me that somebody coming from another country that wanted to come here to work hard because they saw a tremendous opportunity. Again, financially, it's changed his lifestyle and things of that nature. But what it's done for his family and his well-being, it's just, that's my favorite story.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, what a different life, different culture, different mindset, different experience altogether that most of us, at least, I mean, any of us here in America, very few of us can really relate to that. And so, but I mean, the joy of this group being on Facebook is like, we have people literally from all over the world hopping in on here. So, I mean, incredible that like from wherever you are, you can find success, not just for you, but your entire family through a brand like Floor Coverings International. Incredible.
Yeah, and similarly, we've got people that move. Like think of a guy. His name is Brad. White collar America, leading financial sales teams in Washington D.C. COVID hits. Like we all did at COVID. We're like, hey, let me rethink my lifestyle, rethink my career.
Yeah.
His wife's family is up in Syracuse, New York. Guy moves to Syracuse, New York, opens a business, and his first year does over $1 million in sales. This is a business where whether you're coming from Venezuela, you're moving, it's just not a business where you have to necessarily. It always helps, but you don't necessarily have to have the deep inroads because it's a business that you can quickly create them in.
Yeah, can you speak a little bit more about that, the financial side of that? Like, what do you guys expect for your owner? I know you mentioned the 2 million mark, but could you highlight a little bit more, like, because at the end of the day, a lot of times it comes down to finances. Like, they love everything about it, but if I'm not going to make any money, it's not going to change my life and family's life. I'm not going to do it. So can you share a little bit more about about the kind of financial success some of your current owners either have found or what you guys expect them to find and at what timeline? Anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I think so. Anybody starting a business, my personal opinion is that first year, you come in with your investment and you come in with your living expenses for that first year, not because you shouldn't anticipate making money in your first year, but because you want to be safe, right? You want to be prudent, you want to be safe. Now, so outside of the first year, what we expect is our franchise owners that are beyond that $1 million threshold, and then some, and then growing towards 2 million. And certainly in that second calendar year, they should be at that run rate of $2 million. As that happens, they should be looking at their income. And when you measure income in small business, it's not just the profit number, because you have your profit number, you have your paycheck that you're giving yourself, but then you realize the before taxes benefits, right? Those cell phones that used to come after taxes, those car payments that used to come after taxes, the trips that you take to do research on other businesses, but that happens to be in Hilton Head, right?
Yeah.
Those types of things are, it's not apples to apples as you look at your paycheck. But what we want somebody to do after that first year is find themselves having the same lifestyle and benefits from their small business, in the combination of benefits from the business plus their paycheck plus their profit, that they can look back and go, okay, this is just like my lifestyle when I lived a corporate career, and I could see a path to do even better than that. That's where we want them after that first year.
Yeah, so good. I love that. If you like, we're kind of at that half hour mark, so I want to be aware of people's time too. But let me give you one shot. If you had, one shot to speak to those listening right now through the camera, even at a later date, like what would you say? Why should an elite entrepreneur, why should an empire builder, why should they consider Floor Coverings International over some of your competitors?
So an elite entrepreneur is a person that has self-confidence. They feel like that they can conquer the world, and then you just got to put me in the best environment to succeed. So, so I'm going to speak less about what we will do for them and more about the environment they have to succeed in. Number one would be the industry. So the flooring industry is $100 billion, and the top 50 flooring companies in North America, which would include Home Depot, Lowe's, et cetera, top 50 flooring companies, don't even make up 10% of the market. So you're in the biggest interior remodeling industry that there is, and there's not a dominant player. It's just a bunch of Davids. So you come into Exactly. You come into a marketplace that's huge and you don't have a big competitor. Okay, so that's the industry itself, plus the industry itself. We're selling materials, not just labor as well. The industry is not DIY. And then for as long as there are fires and floods and dishwashers that bust, insurance companies write a lot of checks for the flooring industry. So this industry is just a great place to come into and succeed in. So the industry is number one. Number two, I alluded to this a moment ago. I've learned in my career that life is who you're doing it with, and it's the people. And our organization, from top all the way down to bottom, from franchisee number one on our gross sales list down to the bottom, there are people that are collaborative. There are people that are entrepreneurial minded. There are people that want to build large businesses. So to put yourself in an environment where you're in a tremendously huge industry, you're surrounding yourself with like-minded entrepreneurs, and not to mention where this brand is in our growth trajectory. If you think about a hockey stick, we're right at the crest of the hockey stick. We've got 300 franchisees, like I mentioned. We've begun to do mass media marketing, TV, radio. We've got 30 marketing co-ops. So fast forward 12, 24 months from now, Floor Coverings International will be equally as well known as some of the other brands I mentioned before. So what a great time to get into, because your equity is just going to grow from here.
Seriously, I can't wait to see y'all's first Super Bowl commercial. It's gonna be so good. I mean, you're almost there. That's
I think I got a great face for the Super Bowl, don't you? I think I should take it, right?
Yeah, right. Absolutely, for sure, man. It's exciting stuff. So, Albert, for real, thank you so much. This has been incredible to hear about this unique opportunity and what this could look like. And so, for any of you watching now or listening now, like if you're sitting here thinking, I want to learn more, I want to know if my territory is available, I want to know if I'm a good fit, I want to know if this is a good fit for me, then you can literally start right now with, I'm going to drop in the comments what's called a qualification assessment. Okay. This qualification assessment is going to be the first step to finding if this is just what we said, if this is a good fit for you, and likewise. So click on that link in the comments and take 5-10 minutes of your day just to start there. That in no way it makes it no way if you fill that out, or is it saying like, yes, Floor Coverings wants you as a franchisee, and vice versa. It's no ways it's saying this is the right brand for you, but this is the starting place to beginning the journey to franchise ownership. And I'm excited from there. Then we'll hop on a call and we'll talk a little bit more about who you are and what you're looking for. And if this is the right fit for you, then I'm going to get you connected, and I can literally do that today with Albert. I can put you on the phone with him this afternoon. If you're like, let's get the ball rolling right now. I'm tired of waiting. I want, everything he's talked about. I want that for my life too. Let's start rolling right now. Don't wait any longer. This is day one of the rest of your life. Let's make it happen. And as I promised everybody too, I wanted to show you a little bit like a visualization of what it might look like to be a franchise owner, and kind of hear from snippets of a whole bunch of their franchisees as well as we wrap up. But before we do, Albert, thank you again so much, man. Sincerely appreciate you and all of your time and investment and just wisdom, and obviously heart and passion for what you're doing and for this brand. You could be working for any other number of companies, and it's just exciting to see what you're doing, attaching yourself to a brand that's just obviously like truly successful and helps people. So I love it, man. It's good.
Appreciate you, Jared. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Until then, everyone, enjoy.
It's a great line of business to be in. People are always in need of floors.
We have all kinds of different options for everybody. It's something that fits everybody's budget, which makes my job easier when we walk into the house and sell it.
We want to be a market disruptor in the flooring industry, and we are set up for success to do that.
As I like to say, I spent a lot of years working for the man. I wanted to try to be the man.
I decided, I'm putting all this hard work in. It's time to go do it for myself and for my family.
I looked around a little bit, I thought about doing it myself. I really loved what Floor Coverings International had to offer.
To start something completely on my own seemed silly when I could join a franchise and have all the tools and everything there.
I knew Floor Coverings International was the right choice for me because it hit all the areas that I was looking for in becoming a business owner.
I'm an Army logistician at heart. I was around the Army for 35 years, 25 in uniform.
Before getting into franchising, I was doing a number of things. immediately at the time I was teaching preschool.
I was a stay-at-home mom for a while. My background is actually in sports medicine, athletic training.
A lot of years I spent running restaurants, being profitable.
We had a real estate office in Mexico City for almost 20 years, and now we're moving to the US.
I got the knowledge to run a hardwood floor business through Floor Coverings International. They have an outstanding training program, a ton of great resources. Really taught me everything I needed to know.
The support that they offered through the discovery phase was fantastic. They always got back to me, answered all of my questions, which is an experience I didn't see with a lot of other franchises that I was looking for, and definitely made Floor Coverings International stand out.
The differentiator for me was a defined roadmap of new startup success for a new owner. The training, the support, the guidance, and Floor Coverings International had that demonstrated and laid out very, very clearly defined.
I love the community aspect of it. Everybody is here to help each other, and they want you to succeed. Everybody here wants you to succeed.
We are walking into the homes with cutting edge technology. People are always amazed by the tools that we use, how we use them, and what we do. And that's directly related right back to, you know, our corporate team.
It's the whole package. It's the people here, it's the culture. That's ultimately what made us buy Floor Coverings International.
I would say it's a great opportunity for someone in the multi-store manager type of role because of the skills that you develop when you're running multiple stores.
Floor Coverings International, it's a great option for getting an E2 visa. It's a well-ranked franchise, and the US government knows that. So it's very easy. They make the process really, really smooth.
I would highly recommend FCI to other veterans. I think that they are a phenomenal franchise organization. They provide tremendous support. One of the things I learned in the Army was I didn't have to have all the answers, but I needed to know where to go get them. And so what I've found with FCI is that they have lots of experts that I can reach out to.
Leaving the restaurant business was the best decision of my life, because now I'm able to do what I want when I want. I know my business is number one. I got to make sure that's taken care of. I got people in place to do that. I'm there to manage them. I'm there to help them. But if we want to travel a little bit, then my wife and I, we can definitely do it.
It's really been everything that we have wanted, that my family and I wanted, to own a business. Completely rewarding, great growth for the future ahead of us.
The only regret I have is not doing this 10 years sooner. Not making my own money and being my own boss and being able to live this life 10 years earlier.
I would definitely do it again. It's incredibly gratifying.
Go out there and work hard and you're going to get results.
Anybody who invests in Floor Coverings International will be very happy with their investment.
My only regret is that I would have done it sooner.